This is Smithy.tv.
Hey, this is Kenny Robinson breaking down the news. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for stopping off. So far, I'm not gonna lie to you, folks. This is the third episode that I've done today with my good buddy Darren Frost, aka Little Man Hate. What other nicknames they got for you, Darren?
The angriest man in show business, the angry troll. There's too many to mention.
And as the Chinese waiters said, you got little nails.
Tiny fingernail boy.
Tiny finger.
That's my nickname in the Chinese community. Yep.
Darren may not have the career that he's deserving of, but he has probably received more hate mail than any other comic.
Yes, that's something to be proud of. In Canada,
in
to get
Canada.
hate mail in Canada,
Especially the price of a stamp.
Yeah.
This is way before the internet.
yeah. Well, before the internet, if someone mailed something to you, you were doing your job.
And meanwhile, your job is all you're trying to do is raise these three rambunctious sons of yours.
Yeah.
Is rambunctious would be a good word for your kids?
That's a nice way to sum it up. Yeah, soul destroying is the way I call
Soul
it. Yeah.
destroyers. You do one thing in your act where you refer to you like to put your youngest in a wood chipper.
Yep.
So I told my mother this story, and she always likes to hear the updates. And she goes, "So how's the wood chipper doing?"
Wood chipper baby.
Say, yeah. So she just knows your son is wood chipper
Yeah.
baby.
Well, it's like with my wife. Every time something goes wrong with the little one, what are you gonna do? Run and call Kenny Robinson and update his mother? Is that what you're gonna do?
Oh, really?
You know, yeah. Because she knows I told her about the wood chipper baby. She laughed,
Oh,
but
yeah.
she's like, hey, I love my kids, but it's not easy, and any parent knows that. My act used to be very controversial and talk more about social conscious things and things that we are more in line with, but now it's resorted back to my family life because that's more where I am right now. And
Yeah.
people get still just as offended with my jokes about my kids as they do about my jokes about the Winnipeg bus beheading, for example.
Because they don't think of them as being your children.
Right.
They don't think of them as being the seeds of Satan himself.
Right, and very rarely is it parents that are upset. It's single people who can't believe that someone's talking this way about, if you're not, Louis C.K. can call your kids asshole, that's okay, because he's Louis C.K. But if I call my kids asshole, I'm a motherfucker, and that's
I
wrong.
think more people need to. I think too bad you don't have the money, so you can have a contest.
Sure.
Where somebody that writes in complaining about you with how you talk about your children, they get to go on an airplane and sit either next or in front of you and your three sons.
Yes. That's
And-
a flight that's going to get diverted very quickly.
They will be yelling for a parachute before the plane has left the tarmac.
My kid will just do something horrible, stick his finger somewhere it shouldn't be, and just rub stuff on something that shouldn't have been rubbed.
Well, that's it, because lately now the airlines, they're not playing with kids anymore. I mean,
They're not
airlines
fucking
never
around.
been kid friendly.
No, but they're not fucking around. It's almost like they're looking for a reason to just say, you know what, we don't want to deal with it. Let's turn this plane around and get this kid off. There's the story that just happened with the Walk Off the Earth lead singer, and it's really debatable on what happened.
Yeah.
There's people that say that the kid was uncontrollable, but there's a lot of people that are saying the kid wasn't that uncontrollable. A lot of people don't know. Up until age 2, you don't have to buy a seat for a child.
Right.
It's up to 24 months. This kid was 23 months old, so it didn't have to pay for a seat. Has to sit on the mother's lap.
Yeah.
But she's pregnant, 7 months pregnant. So how comfortable is that? I don't
And they
know.
charging for extra baggage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. $25 or a fetus, And so I guess what happened was she couldn't control him, and there was problems, so they diverted the plane. But one of the small details of it is that by the time they diverted the plane, the kid had already fallen asleep. And it took 75 minutes to get them off the plane and get their luggage off, and they would have already been halfway through their flight by then on their way to Vancouver.
But they don't want this motherfucker waking up around Winnipeg and then acting up all the way to Vancouver.
But you know what? Kids act up. I mean, that's part of it. It's like just screaming and crying, so what? Like, I get tired. I've heard so many hack comics go, take care of your kids on a plane, take care of your kids. I'm like, every time I've been on a plane, all right, I see a parent looking like they're going to have an aneurysm when their kid's acting up. They got the veins shaking like this. They look like they're going to have a stroke. They're doing whatever they can, keys, markers,
Sure.
toys, shiny to control their kids, It's not like they're sitting
They're
there.
idiots. These parents are idiots because all it takes is Gravol.
Right.
While you're still in the waiting thing, maybe you have to carry the child onto the plane.
Right.
Strap him in the seatbelt. Because last time I took my kids when they were little enough to go on a plane, because they said you had to buy. I think one was 2 years old, the other one wasn't quite. And we were going to Barbados, and I said, well, no way. It was my wife and I going to sit with a child on our lap.
For that far.
So I bought the plane ticket for them, and they were small enough that we strapped them both into the one seat.
Right.
Paid for one seat. I got two in it.
Yeah, yeah.
And we graveled them up before they got on the plane.
Right.
And, there's a picture of me with my son on my knee, and I'm trying to read him a story, and he's like, man, can't I just hear the end of the story when I wake up?
Yeah.
I thought they'd been like shooting smack and listening to Monk, because, they're definitely in that jazz baby zone,
Well, so let me get this straight. Your solution is drug the kids.
Absolutely.
My solution is kidless airplanes.
Kidless airplanes.
Kidless airplanes. That's my thing is, if you don't want to fly with kids, then have kidless airplanes. We already have kidless resorts. Same thing about restaurants. When people keep complaining about kids acting, fucking around in restaurants, have kidless restaurants.
You gotta have kids on a plane because it makes the crash so much sadder when they show the baby pictures.
Yeah, true.
When they show the teddy bear in the sports setting pin in the water or in the field, it just makes it so you gotta have kids on a plane.
Hallmark is on your side. Hallmark is on your side for sure. But I think kidless airplanes, kidless restaurants, and you go there, and if kids show up, they're not allowed in.
Wow.
And I'm a parent. I have no problem with that. But there's times I don't want to be around kids either. It's called freedom of choice. I would rather know that restaurant doesn't want my business because I have kids and I will not go there.
Well, there's I think the places that call themselves family restaurants, which would be a Swiss chalet.
Yeah, or then you're going to Mario's.
Yeah.
If you go to Eastside Mario's, it's loud. There's kids running around, picking their noses and running around. That's Eastside Mario's. But that's why you go there.
And if you're going to the keg and you think you're gonna, propose to somebody, you don't want little snot-nosed Billy coming up to your table going, "Hi."
And the same thing with planes. Get them the fuck off the plane then. Have a kidless airplane. I'd have no problem. I take my 3 kids all the time. And if the adults don't want to be on my plane, then go on the next plane.
Or couldn't we do it where you're gonna have kids or non-kids section, like you used to have smoking or non-smoking?
Well, the plane's not big enough. Are you really going to have... And the other problem with that, I talked to my wife today about this because I never thought about this. The problem with that scenario is you put them all in one spot. Well, one kid acts up while the others are trying to sleep. You're going to fuck up everything. And then you're going to just have 12 kids screaming and crying.
But at least they're all in one little pinned up area.
Like
Why not
8 feet away from you? It's like the smoking, non-smoking section was a row. Like, you're still breathing in. You're a fucking plastic tube of just, air and flesh.
And I guess cargo wouldn't be cool, huh?
Well, or maybe crates. Maybe you crate the kids.
But people don't even put their pets in cargo anymore. Now you got
true.
everybody with these carry-on, too many goddamn snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Yeah.
But too many kids on this
but you're willing to drug the kids. I'm willing to go maybe as far as crate the kids.
But it's over-the-counter drugs.
Oh, that makes it okay then.
Yeah, it ain't like I went and saw my man Willie in the park. It's for that basically.
Yeah. Cut to 20 years from now, and your kids, hooked on heroin. It all started with that trip to Barbados.
But if they're cool on a plane, then obviously they're living a rock star lifestyle.
Yeah, cool on a plane. I like the title of that. Cool on a plane.
Hank Williams Jr. had a song called "High and Pressurized." And was
yeah,
and it was all about says you do a better show there if you travel high and pressurized.
Right.
So I guess doing a couple of lines and getting on a plane beats the hell out of trying to have a Mickey in your dashboard while you're driving to that gig.
The real problem is like even just in the last month alone, it's all been this. We talked about all the hype and trouble
autistic
around.
kids too. They're causing the planes.
It's all about this autistic child on the plane who now someone on the plane reports because they diverted that plane because they wouldn't give it food that the kid wanted. And they diverted the plane. But there's someone 2 rows back said, no, the kid was uncontrollable.
Yeah.
They tried their best. They have to land the plane. That's what happens.
Well, if they can force feed guys in Gitmo, I don't know why you can't force feed an autistic child.
Yeah, I don't know. But the other thing is that the whole month has been all this kid stuff, whether it's the crop tops in high schools, it's like social media once again, and then Facebook. Every cause now gets it's like a megaphone. It just
because the one principal was in Guelph. He said that the students shouldn't dress like skanks.
Right.
And everybody's upset. And I thought, well, would it be worse if the principal said, tomorrow is skank day. I want all the girls to come to school dressed like I'd be in trouble.
Well,
Or is he empowering the word skank?
There's this argument about school is an institution, and we're supposed to be preparing our kids to work within the institution.
Or we're preparing our children to think and develop personalities of their own.
Sure, but you can't go to job in a crop top. If you work at certain jobs, you can't go to a bank in a halter top.
Oh, if I was hiring.
Yes, you were hiring. That's the Kenny Robinson Bank. There's going to be more deposits than withdrawals in that place.
Kenny Robinson Bank. Yes, you can get a loan. You don't have assets, but you must have assets.
There we go. But, midriff, I don't think it's appropriate. I think these are institutions where, I understand kids want to have their ability to express themselves. You don't have to do it through a fucking midriff. Wear a t-shirt that says, fuck Satan or whatever you want. I don't care about that, but just cover it.
Well, but I remember, back in 1975, 76, the girls wore halter tops. And, we were seeing more nipples than we got to see in the Playboy magazine. And nobody was raped in the bathroom. There was, the guys that were going to study still study.
Well, I don't believe in the argument that it's the boys are going to be led astray because they see something.
Yeah,
if you think a thin piece of t-shirt
that ain't
versus
doing
a halter top is
because I've always had a thing for women's feet. So when the girls start wearing open-toe sandals with their toes painted, I'd be sitting there like this during an exam, like, hoping for the answer, saying the answer's on that woman's foot right there. In a multiple choice, I went eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and that would be the one I voted for.
That's the thing about the Kenny Robinson Bank. Everything's paid with their feet. They got to throw their feet up. They got to dish out the money.
Well, that's just me looking at their application with the feet up and the skirt going, so going, yes, I see that you have a resume,
But where does it stop? I mean, you can say that we can't walk around nude. There's rules in society. You either live within society or you don't, and you pay the consequence. We can't walk around naked and have a job.
No, they got resorts for people that want to do
that. Well, yeah, just like they have resorts for non-kids.
But
people have no problem with that.
Actually, but there's one school, I saw something kind of interesting. The boys were actually wearing crop tops.
As a kind of symbolic kind of...
Well, some of them were doing it for symbolism, and others because they love show tunes. And then you also
there was a Glee marathon going on somewhere.
You also have the guys that were the football jocks, and because they cut the football jerseys off for training, there's just ends right around the shoulder pads. I draw the line at fat boys wearing crop tops. I don't think any good can come of it. And somebody said, well, fat boys
well,
need
then you're sexist because you like gunts, and you said that. So it's only female gunts?
But I also have a fat belly, and I also know that no love will be coming my way for showing my belly to anybody.
Telling you, that's the thing. You got to open up the Kenny Robinson Bank.
Or have my own book. I could go where they worship Buddha, and they say put a shirt on.
Well, and then there's the trouble that just happened in, was it Richmond Hill with the soccer team?
Yeah.
Was that?
Okay, so what happened was there's a soccer tournament, and all these different schools are entered, and there is a Muslim, an Islamic school team.
Yes.
And
that just recently joined this organization.
Well, it wasn't an organization, but it was a tournament. They entered a tournament, so the school's small over, and they had to play a team that had two girls, and they refused to play because they got the school too. Yeah, they were playing
a Catholic school, and they were
playing a Catholic school.
They played a half.
Yeah.
And then they went to the ref at midway through the game and said that we will not continue the game. We're going to forfeit the game if the girls continue to play.
But no, the girls hadn't played yet, had they?
Because I think they had.
The girls offered to sit out the second half.
The second half. So what happened was they were said, look, they can either forfeit or you have to sit off. Well, the problem is that they were only winning by 3-1, this team.
Yeah, but
they needed more goals because in soccer, goals count.
Like in tournaments,
in the tournament,
team that gave up more goals,
more goals counts.
Yeah.
So they were like, look, we need the goals. If we forfeit, it ends at 3-1 now.
Yeah.
We need more
goals. They wound up beating that team 5-2, 6-2?
6-1.
And apparently they would have had to play them again in the playoffs, you know. But when I first read that article, my line for that on Facebook was, we'll take your balls and go home. Because, to me, it was being a poor sport, No,
I think what should happen, they should be allowed to forfeit the game, but the game continues. Meaning the time on the clock still goes, and it's just an empty field. And if they want to just keep kicking balls into the net, the game is on.
That would have just screwed up the whole tournament because there's other teams that didn't
why
play.
Should they be victimized, the one team, for not getting the goals?
Oh, but I'm saying, but if you did that, then the other teams in that would have been victimized because, well... What, we're being victimized because we didn't get to play a team who have have these backward ideologies, and we didn't have a girl to then everybody would then making sure they got at least one girl on the team just to thwart this Muslim team.
For this to never happen again, if they want to be part
No
of
more Muslims, damn it! Wake up, Canada, wake up!
I'm the exact opposite. I say everyone's involved, everyone's covered. You don't know if it's a dude or a girl. Just everyone's covered.
You can't play soccer like that.
Yes, you can.
You cannot.
Yes, you can.
Because you know what? One of my favorite things is to do with my son.
Just cover everyone, head to toe.
I go to Value Village.
Little slits in the eyes, and that's it.
Try a headbutting with that, and you miss it. But I took my son to Value Village, and the long shirt dresses that the men like to wear?
Yeah.
Well, I put one on, And of course, my son's horrified, and I look in the mirror and I see the big belly on me. I go, well, this is not very flattering to the figure, And then my son started, messing me, being stupid. So I went to boot him in the ass, and I couldn't because of the cut of my man dress.
Good.
So I could only, so I was restricted.
Yes.
And I said to him, no wonder why we're winning the war on terrorism.
Right.
Because I couldn't, you don't see many martial artists wearing those dress pants.
That's right.
So you can't
Few
play
ninjas.
soccer in those.
Yeah, well, no, maybe that's a better soccer game.
It would be like Tim Hortons level girls entry soccer. But
Cover everyone. That's the answer. Cover everyone head to toe.
Well,
you don't know if it's a dude. You don't know if it's a girl.
And I had one guy on Facebook said, it's men are stronger and women are stronger. But this winter, I had two hockey tournaments in the States, and we played against this team from Pittsburgh. Actually, we played them 4 times in 2 different tournaments, and they had 2 girls on their hockey team.
Right.
And when I first saw them, I said to one of the mothers who was sitting with, I go, gee, I hope our boys, don't just back off because they see it's a girl. And, and I'm thinking, well, they are girls. And no sooner I said that, the one little bitch on the team, she cross-checks one of her guys in the back of the head. Just bang! And I'm going, and that's a dirty, vicious, illegal, dangerous move.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm going, oh shit. Well, I hope my boy's got her number.
Yeah.
That I'm kind of hoping that I'm hoping somebody does let her.
Oh yeah.
And then another time I see her throw a dirty elbow, and I'm going, shit. This girl's just nasty.
Well, some of them do it because they think they can get away with it. That the guys won't retaliate. But you know what? On the ice. That's the game.
Well, and to our credit, we did not retaliate, but there was a happy ending to the story. She got a double minor, and we scored 2 goals while she was off.
Right.
So it just goes to show you that hockey is a game that you can have goonery, but it's still the skills that win overall.
Well, of course, yeah. And if you can't cover them all, then what they should have done in that exact example is they should have doubled their score. So if it was 3-1 at halftime, it's now 6-1, game's over, 6-2, and they get the goals.
But it also cheats the kids of the fun of playing the game.
I agree, but if they're not going to willing to play, they're not going to play.
Yeah.
And I understand and I appreciate what the girls did and for their team.
Yeah.
But I don't like it and I don't agree with it. I think that it's wrong that they had to sit out.
Absolutely.
I think it's wrong. I think it sends the wrong message. I think it sends a message to all those kids that if you don't follow the rules, it's not the right way to do it.
What I hated most about that was not even the event. What I hated is what it does to a certain segment of our society. Because I'm reading this online, and my favorite thing is to read the comments.
Oh, of course.
All the
Yeah.
articles. And so many of it is go back to your own country.
Of course.
We're not changing for you.
It's horrible, yeah.
And my first girlfriend I had when I first moved to Toronto, 1981, she wasn't on my page, was on another one, and I was freaked to see her name there, and her thing was fuck off Muslims, something else, and I'm going. So then I write. It isn't all Muslims, it isn't all. And then I had like 13 guys who are like boyfriends of hers, Kenny, read the article, then you fuck off, Kenny. So it was just all this, so
right.
I think that type of thing, it brings out the intolerance of us.
Yeah, and it also, the kids, we're all forgetting about the kids on those teams. They're going to be pissed off at the Muslim team too. And I don't think that every kid on that team, on the Muslim team, probably wanted to go down that way either.
No, they wanted to win and play.
They wanted to win and play, and someone else made that decision for them, rules or whatever, instilled into them, and that's what their belief system is. But, at the end of the day, it's like after 9/11 or after I see a stand-up comic who's Muslim-based talk about it, I always think to myself, and maybe it's liberal guilt or whatever you want to call it, but I'd hate to be someone that's Muslim who has to have these feelings when it's not what they wanted to be. Those kids wanted to play. They didn't want to have all this bullshit thrown on them. They just wanted to play soccer in a way of amongst other teams and no bullshit. That's the whole point of games like that, is to remove the bullshit.
Replace warfare. And instead it becomes warfare.
And that's what it becomes.
Yeah.
And hate is then thrown on those kids who didn't want it or ask for it.
Well, I have the solution. Unfortunately, I do not run banks. I do not hire people. I would have given the coach of the Muslim team Gravol.
Yes,
so that
drug the kids.
Drug the coach.
Drug
He'd
the
have
coach.
woke up. he'd have found that his team
Yeah.
had beaten some Catholics
Yep.
with girls
Yes.
soundly.
And then they partied afterwards, and they drank non-alcoholic beverages together.
And it showed that the infidels did not have the soccer skills
Yeah.
that this school did.
Yes.
I would have drugged the coaches into
Yep.
a stupor,
Yep.
but I would not have put them drugged onto a plane.
I'm telling you, the Kenny Robinson Bank, sponsored by Gravol. Whoever makes Gravol, that should be the sponsor of this show. Because it seems that everything is just your answers to drug things.
Well, today, next segment, I'm probably sure depends. I'll probably come and take care of both of his diabetics.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm so pissed off now. Now we have to get ready for the Pan Am games, and now the highways in Toronto are going to be screwed up. The cabs are going to be protesting.
Oh, fuck.
Now I hear that children won't be able to go to the new water splash pads because they interfere with something with some areas where some of the games are scheduled.
Oh,
to be
really?
at. Yeah. So, you know.
I'm not even here. I'm out of town. I left on purpose.
Oh, I think I think the show starts on the. I think the show. I think the Pan Am games start on the 28th.
Yeah.
I hope that's not a Sunday or a weekend.
It is. It's a Saturday or Sunday.
Oh, because my Nubian show and there's only the VIP lane for Pan Am officials going from 427 to Jarvis. And, they just opened, they've only had one lane for the past 3 years on their open now. And now they got, so anyway, that's another beef for another time. Hey, folks, we're out of time here now. Hope you've been paying attention. I hope you haven't popped a couple of Gravols and dozed off while Darren and I were having our fun. Darren Frost, thank you very much for popping in. And once again, you can check out Darren doing his live stand-up act at Yuck Yucks, 224 Richmond Street. If any of you fellas have a lady that you want to break up with and you just don't know how to do it, come early, get seats at the front.
Yes.
Encourage her not to like Darren.
That is my claim to fame. I've broken up more couples than any other comic in this country.
And he'll call her names, and she'll say, we're leaving. You can say, I'm not, and she'll leave, and you'll be a free man. So yeah, see, you know what? I don't just need to run banks. I need to run everything.
Everything.
I have the Kenny Robinson solution, So anyway, folks, breaking down the news. Thanks for checking us out here on Smitty TV, and see you again soon. Later.